Thanks for tuning in to another episode of PandaVision. I am your host, Rob Winters, Director of Digital Marketing, and today I'm joined by Tommy Hall. He is our VP of Operations. Tommy, thanks so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
So you have probably been in the roofing industry longer than a lot of people here, or at least more so than a small handful, but give us a little background. Like, how did you get into not just Panda Exteriors, but roofing in general?
I needed a job. And I took a job on a naval base at Virginia Beach for the SEAL Team 6 after, I think they went after Osama.
Oh, damn.
And we built a very nice cafeteria, roofing and sheet metal. It was a summer project, and the project was over, and I needed a job again. About 3 or 4 months went by. The owner of the company reached out to me, see if I wanted to come on full time, and I've been roofing ever since.
So is it safe to say you enjoy it, or is it the people?
I love roofing. Roofing really also gave me like a why in life, something to go after, to learn, to excel in. And over the years, a lot of the younger guys, they call me the GOAT. I just have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge from all aspects of, some people say roofing, I consider it waterproofing. There's nothing I can't roof. There's nothing I can't keep the water out of.
I like that. So, here at Panda, you are starting a whole new division. You're creating the commercial division more or less, which is amazing. So building it from the ground up, what kind of pushed you, or what's pushing the company that way instead of just sticking, with residential?
I started in roofing in a commercial space. I never did residential roofing up till, me coming to Panda and maybe a position I ended up coming prior. But I have an extensive background in roofing in the inner cities, working on the high rises, and just knowing what all goes into those projects. Commercial jobs is a much longer life cycle than a typical residential project. Residential, we could be there a day, a week, or two. Commercial projects, we can be there 6 to 8 months to 2 to 3 years, depending on the project. So it's just it's a bigger beast. There's a lot more pre-construction things that go on before we even get to boots on the ground. Then there's just a lot of work that goes into while we're on boots on the ground getting the work done. So it's night and day of our typical business here. And I just believe because of my experience, I'm the best suited person to help us get this off the ground.
And I've only been here 6 months, and I would have no doubt in that you have a huge amount of knowledge, which we just from the digital marketing side, we're trying to pull that even into our own content. But VP, people hear that, they think executive, you're in an office, but you are very different in that sense of like, yes, you lead, but you definitely are hands-on. You are out there with your team. Is that necessary, or is that just an important piece to you to be out there with them?
We have to constantly grow, elevate, and stay on top of our mechanics, stay on top of our laborers and our processes, and ensure that we're really sticking to them. Growing a commercial department as another vertical here for us, we have to make sure that we're showing up and getting the job done the way that we are, selling ourselves to our customers, for them to trust us. And, as we begin this new journey into the commercial industry, we just want to ensure that we're doing things properly. Things have changed. Things are constantly changing. And a part of me just being in the field is giving that hands-on support. I've been in the field and lived it. And sometimes just being a good leader is leading by example. And if I'm asking someone to travel for an opportunity and it involves them being in the field, then I want to make that commitment and travel and be in the field with them.
Fair point. Ryan, he's the producer of this podcast and behind the camera,
Hi, Ryan.
He's had the opportunity to travel at least to one of the commercial sites, so he can respect that. And I know you've been hands-on with helping him as well. But let me ask, so residential, commercial, very different. But if you were talking to maybe myself or a homeowner, what's a misconception or maybe a myth that people commonly think about a new roof?
A myth or a comment?
And that might be something about like, I don't need a new roof, like it can wait, or, it's going to last another 10 years, or...
A misconception is, changing your roof doesn't stop your windows from leaking. When it comes to like a residential aspect, if
I think I'm so different, right?
If we change your roof, it's not going to prevent your windows from leaking. Trust the professionals. If we're recommending for a roof to be replaced, we have good reasoning. Delaying these processes can cause further damage, which causes a much larger expense when you are ready to make the commitment to the replacement. But a common myth, I don't know. Roofing is not easy. Some people make it out to seem like it is easy. Really pay attention to the scope and the products that are going down and the phases of which they are going down. I've always said there are a lot of roofers in the industry. Not all of them are great. So do your research, go online, check reviews. I don't really have a comment or a myth about roofing.
Actually, you just kind of made me think of something there. I was doom scrolling this weekend, as one does on Instagram. And I came across, not specifically a roof, but somebody who got a new driveway. And it was like, I was quoted, we'll say $10,000 by the professional company, paid $100 to somebody I found, and it shows somebody dumping concrete on grass, obviously a huge fail. If somebody's, they meet with Panda and they're like, oh, it's too expensive, I'm just going to hire so-and-so. What are the things that they should be watching out for that it's like, this is too good to be true, this is a scam, go with the professional versus the too good to be true type of deal?
It kind of answers. Sometimes when things are too good to be true, they are. In this decade of roofing, I've been involved in various projects where I was not the awarded roofer. I'm always told my scope is just so on point, but my price is just a little bit out of the budget. And for every one of those projects, I've received a call to go back and to fix the mistake of the other contractor. And it's always more costly. We always try to show up for not just our customers, but for the roofing industry as well. But you got to pay attention to the task at hand and really what it takes. And sometimes that's just, you have to have trust in your contractor and you got to do your research on them. And sometimes it's just the small things. If they're not answering your phone calls, if they're not responding to you, if they're really pushing you to or rushing you, shows they have a little bit more urgency. Could be a financial scenario, might be a budget they want to hit, I don't feel we try to rush anyone to a project. We make sure expectations are 110% clear before we start anything. And that really builds our trust and our value into what we do here.
I can appreciate that. I think that's kind of I know we don't say it this way, but the Panda promise or the Panda guarantee.
Yeah. We really we cross all the T's and dot all of our I's. We have multiple reviews of projects before we really hit the ground going. And this is construction. We are not perfect, but we strive to be. And in construction, it's not always just about how you start, but it's also how you finish. There's things that can happen in between the alphabet of construction, and it's about the way that you respond. You pick that ball back up, and we finish the project strong for our customers.
So thinking of somebody who might be listening to this or watching this and thinking, maybe this is a career for me, how does somebody get into this? Aside from just, going on the website and looking if there's a job opportunity, how do they determine if roofing is a career trajectory for them?
You gotta start, right? You just have to start. I started as the broom pusher, working on the crew, installing roofs. And I've risen from the broom pusher to a director of operations, to a VP of operations here at Panda Exteriors. So I've really walked the life cycle of roofing, and you won't really know if it's for you until you start and try. There's so many different avenues in this industry, whether if it's in marketing, digital marketing, canvassing, being a project manager, working on a service crew, being in sales. There's so many different avenues you can take in this industry that you can really find great success in. But it's always about, we talk about it here is, you got to want it, right? And what that personal want is, what that personal give to your personal self is, so you don't feel like you're waking up and going to a job. You're waking up and doing something you love every day. And it can be roofing. I have guys that just love, they don't want to do anything else. They just want to climb roofs and sell deals all day. I'm getting old. My knees hurt.
Yeah, can relate to that.
As much as I don't enjoy my desk job, it's what's needed. And the more comfortable I get with it now, when I'm 60 or 70, I'll probably really appreciate the work I'm putting in at the desk today.
Yeah, agreed. Fair. Okay, so before I let you go, my last question, and this is completely off topic from roofing, but we are building a desert island out of our employees. We have been shipwrecked or plane wrecked. You can pick your poison there. Todd has decided he will be our scout because he's an enormous giant of a person, and he will be looking for, he's going to look for a resort, but we're on a deserted island. So if he finds anything, it's going to be abandoned most likely. But what would be your skill or your superpower that you bring to the 190 plus Panda employees stuck on this island, think Gilligan's Island alone, and how would you help us survive?
Being a voice of reason and a voice of execution. We're stranded on a desert island. It sounds like we need to move fast and we need to break some things. We need to figure out where we're going. And sometimes when lots of people are stranded, it takes a leader to make decisions to move the team forward. That's something I tend to, in anything I do in life, just grab a hold of and just make the decision and go to try to lead us hopefully to the resort that Todd's looking for.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, I'm gonna need a cocktail after that plane crash, right?
I might need a mojito.
No, good answer. I like that. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out of your very busy schedule and sitting down with us. It's been really great catching up. And for those of you who are tuning in, be sure to tune in next week. We will be sitting down with Tony, who is one of the gateways to Panda Exteriors here. He is our selection specialist, and you'll get a peek behind the curtain of what it actually takes to get through that process and get a job here at Panda.